Exactly.
He was very fast.
Oh no!
I need to show you a video of me doing stand-up badly because you showed one last time. And 3,
I tried to, but I was just so talented.
I know, yeah, you tried to.
Just like intangible red flag territory. Like he's not saying anything
Oh,
specific,
interesting.
But like just as he's talking, you're like, do not be in a room alone with this man.
Yeah, 100%.
So we can all love each other. No.
All right, great. Okay, great. This is great. What about him is an intangible red flag? Is it a way he appears, way he talks, hand gestures?
Do you know what the word intangible means?
All right, I'm gonna go have a piss. Ashley, you're in charge.
I'm in charge. Bitches.
I went down on a juicy poozy, and
Uh-oh, got a fart, and this chair's gonna make it reverberate. Hey, wait! Hey!
Oh no! Everybody else,
Hey!
What's going on? I'm just waiting for music. I thought you were getting music. Oh, I thought you were just getting
how
music.
my penis gets born.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Here's a shed.
The ice cream cones came with a little metal packet that is just full of sugar. It's just full of sugar to be poured into the cones.
I got what has the Japanese not gotten a hold of, perfected, and then when everyone was like, "You did it," they went, "And now we'll begin." And you're like, No, you fixed it. It was fixed. Do not break it. They're like, no, we got to break this.
I still have some more questions.
Go ahead.
John Hastings is on America's Got Talent for 5 minutes, and now he's got houses in LA and London.
That's right.
Yeah.
You kept a house in London?
Yeah, I've kept a house in London.
Update: not sugar.
There's no fluid tasting enough to warrant sucking it out of him. No, but it was did he do it when he was then in the band when they were the 4 Bee Gees that brief time before then his heart exploded?
Wow.
I'm not saying anything that didn't happen. That is what happened to him.
I'm a predator.
And it was going awesome. And we even started having drinks at a bar, and we each had girlfriends with us, whatever. We're having a great time until I got comfortable enough to go, hey, we share a birthday,
As someone who's been eternally single.
Go ahead.
Is it your fault? Yes. No, I'm sorry.
Stop tweeting after your dates, Ashley. Stop tweeting after your dates.
Oh, bad news, Paul. You're getting a Batman bag.
This is not bad news. I am so pleased.
Support them.
But you know what's more important than helping people's mental health?
Fuck you, John.
I'm just saying. Tom, you're a comedy fan.
Here's what happened. So I came up after she finished a couple times.
How did you
I'm not one's not enough.
What a gentleman.
You go for 2. That's how you start it out.
Smooth or crunchy.
And then oh Jesus, boom. And so when I emerged, I went to kiss her, and she just grabbed my face and she sucked it all out of my beard.
So hurtful.
That's a literary reference. Oh no, I gotta.
Hey, you can't tie me out now. I'm the only one here. Books, pages. Right. Verb, noun, adjective. Nice. Someone get me that.
I'm very prone to bullying.
No, you're talking about Andy Gibb.
I am talking about Andy Gibb. Pardon me.
Get your Gibbs straight if you want to come at me, bro.
Sorry.
Those nice bearded men and their Aryan friends seem like they're doing very different shows.
Marion's got pink eye. She touched her in hole.
I tried to. It crawled away too quickly.
It's difficult with tea. Sometimes you try and tune it and you get Assam.
I'm officially declaring it. Jordan is the Governor General of the stream.
God damn it, guys. I took a Ritalin today. I can only focus on one thing at a time.
What world is happening right now?
Oh no, the Canadians are coming.
Chris, John, and Irish Ashley combine to make the ultimate team, better than any wet dream. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream. John's the CEO and boomer. Ashley's the real leader. Chris brings the vibes and juices as our enjoyment increases. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream.
Yo.
Pretty zen start to the show, John.
How's everyone going? Good? Yes.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Went for a nice walk. I'm trying to get routines going because there's so little to do, and I got so good at doing nothing.
I noticed it, but I didn't want to make
Yeah.
too big of a deal of it. But not one of us was muted.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Not one. John's done it on purpose to make a
Yeah.
joke.
It was fun. It was
It's a funny joke. It's a funny joke, John. Well done.
Thank you. Chris,
Sorry,
how the
routines,
opposite of your
Chris,
day?
go.
So I'm trying to build like good routines, and the only one that I've been able to stick to every day so far is going for a nice long walk, and I just pick a different direction every day, and that's been good.
You
So I
pick
went
a
out.
different direction every day. No.
So it just
I do the
Yes.
same walk. I do the
It's-
same walk every day.
For how long have you been doing the same walk?
Since I moved to Glasgow. No, not since I moved to Glasgow, but since somebody showed me this walk.
I mean, I need a
so
week.
there's
you've got a good walk.
Weeks. Yeah, but how long?
I've got a good walk.
Yeah.
That's a couple. That would be. I want to say they showed me it in September.
Mm.
When I
That's,
get see, the thing is, I like
How good is this
to
walk?
know
I
how
don't want
long a
you-
walk is going to take, and I like to not have to focus on finding my way anywhere.
Okay.
And I need to know when I'm gonna come back home. Like I need to know where I am. That might come from the amount of times I've shat myself in public that I need to just
100%.
know the way home.
All over that from.
I need to be mentally prepared for how long I'm out of the house.
Mm.
I walk like Ethan Hawke swam in Gattaca. I don't save anything for the return journey.
Oh, fuck you with a
No.
Gattaca reference?
That gives me
Goodbye.
that gives me so much anxiety.
No! No!
Gattaca. It's a great movie.
Who coughed so badly?
Probably me.
I think it was
Gattaca.
me.
Gattaca is better than you would think.
I don't
that
know
it
what
should.
Gattaca is.
Oh,
It's
Ashley,
it's a movie
sucks.
about
No,
the
it's
future.
not.
There's Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke and Jude Law, and
It's
they're
the,
all.
like-
Jude Law was a Olympic swimmer, but now he can't use his legs, so now he sells his DNA to people who were born with heart defects. It's wild.
No, I don't
Yeah.
like that pitch.
It's like a whole thing where like genetic stuff makes you like it determines where you are in society. It was like David Cronenberg in that time in the 90s where Hollywood had so much money. They were like, David Cronenberg, do you want to make a studio film? And he was like, if only I can make it about guns that are skinned. And they were like, I wasn't paying attention because I am on ecstasy, so you can do whatever you want. And he's like, that's good. Also, I only work in Toronto, but for some reason only hire American actors. I'm confusing. And they're like, okay, David Cronenberg. Also, yeah, it's very eugenicsy, and like you're not exactly sure what side everyone's on. Oh, and they use people's DNA to couple you up. Like it's very much what people who don't believe in the vaccine think the world is going to be in a year.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's
I don't
very-
I don't want to
uh,
watch that.
It's very much about like you know
they
people
are
who
skin
want.
knives. They are skin
Skin
knives,
knives.
not skin guns. Everyone knows that.
You know how someone's been watching the Isabella Rossellini bedbugs video. It's very much like it's what would happen if you let people who are obsessed with efficiency take over. They're like, there's no. The
Okay.
whole point of it is
so
that
it is
takes out the
completely
beauty of human
eugenicsy.
existence.
It's
Yeah.
very Nazi-ish.
I've also confused it with
Yeah.
the other very eugenicsy weird 90s movie Existenz, which has the
Yeah.
flesh guns.
I was going to
Yes,
say this is not a
Existenz
David Cronenberg film at all.
Then Existenz is the David Cronenberg like really bad shitty movie.
Yeah,
and then Gattaca is the Ethan
not
Hawke movie.
good. Yeah, Gattaca's a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's like you can just watch it. It's
It's
made
the
by
height
Andrew
of-
Niccol. It's fun.
It's the height of Ethan Hawke doing a lot of this acting.
I think
Like,
it was
you
right
don't
at the end. I think it was Ethan Hawke's last starring role, unless he's with like Julie Delphi and he's making an art film.
Or Training Day. It was before Training Day, Chris.
Oh, fuck, I forgot he was the guy in Training Day. The only person I remember in Training Day is Samuel L. Jackson and then Snoop Dogg. Those are the only two people.
In Training Day, you remember Samuel L. Jackson in Training Day? Is that
Yeah,
is
you
that
don't
where you're
remember?
gonna go?
Yeah, he was the police detective who was like, I've had enough of your shit. Give me your gun and your badge. You don't remember that scene?
Nope, different movie. You're thinking of a different movie.
Was that Existenz? Fuck.
It was Existenz. Yeah. To be fair, it was Existenz.
I'm sorry. I need to capitalize on a moment that Chris just got a movie wrong.
I think he did it on purpose.
I don't think he did.
What, Existenz? No, Samuel L. Jackson
No, I think
yells at Cameras. Thank you so much for subbing. We love you.
Are you pranking me again and I don't realize?
this is what happens. This is what happens when you prank us. Is we prank back for much longer and an unnecessary amount of time.
I got you guys though. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
hard,
milk that for a few months.
Hard.
It was a great way
Milk
to end the
us.
year.
Yeah, we had no fucking idea.
Do you want to know how I started today? Is I shaved my face, as you can see from the giant cut under my nose.
Can't see
and
it.
Oh yeah,
Zoom in.
I can
Let's
see
make
it.
him big. Let's make him big. Here we go.
You see this? You see that?
Oh yeah,
Thing
there
right
it is.
Oh, you
Yeah.
nicked
Bring
it.
it. Oh
You, like,
boy,
took
did
a
I!
chunk of
That's a
skin
tough
out.
spot. That's a tough spot.
What was
When I
even
shaved, I
worse
used to
about
catch
it
there, too.
was I've cut that part of my face so many times that I guess there's no the alert that your cut doesn't come out. So I was just setting up for an audition wearing a white shirt and then looked at my face and literally we're talking like all like to about there, just like and I was like, holy shit.
So
And
this
then
is the
sorted it all up.
third piece of clothing that you've bled on before you had to be somewhere in the last week.
That's right.
Great.
You're acting like that. That's
Great.
a new thing. I do
2022,
this
baby.
all
Do
the
you
time. No. First of all, this is not even new. I do this all of the time. I'm just telling people now. Go ahead,
Do
Ashley.
you perhaps need a better razor?
This is a new razor. I just do it very quickly in the shower because I hate shaving, but I also hate having facial hair. So I literally just go,
Is it an electric razor?
no.
No, that doesn't get close enough.
Use use olive
no.
oil. Use olive oil.
Absolutely not.
Use olive oil.
The answer is no.
You just get it into a little tub in the shower. Super easy.
Madam,
Won't cut yourself.
Madam, I'm not a veal chop being prepared for an Italian's dinner. Olive oil
It
does
makes
not.
your skin soft, it prevents ingrown hairs, and it stops you from cutting yourself.
I want my skin to be harder. It is important to draw blood to let your enemies know that you are willing to draw your own blood. 3, it's just olive oil is a kitchen liquid, and I just feel very weird about making it a bathroom liquid as well. Because what's
Ashley,
next?
I'm
cooking
telling
with
you, it's a
shampoo.
life hack.
Ashley, I'm a big
It's a
fan of your
life
mom
hack.
voice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
Also,
life
your
hack.
mom voice is always
You
used
won't
for really
cut
weird
yourself.
things. You
It's
won't
very
cut yourself.
soft. It's
And
okay.
you can have a little drink of olive
I
oil
know
in
you're
that if you want to. You can lube up the throat with a little olive oil. That's fun, huh?
You know what? Somebody listening to this show is going to try the olive oil, and it's
Yeah.
going to change their life.
And then they're
if
going
I
to get
can
a
change one
dermatological
life,
syndrome, and we're going to get sued. That's what's going to happen.
Nope.
Yeah,
It's
we're going to
good
get
for you.
Alex Jones. This is our Sandy Hook. You're Alex Jones. This is what's going to happen. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's the greatest thing ever.
No.
Alex Jones, the conspiracy theorist.
I thought you were bringing something up on your computer. The way
Is
you were
this the
looking.
thing that
I thought you were about to bring
you
something up.
I can't.
you
it's
sent
on-
us a video of some legal jargon thing?
Yes.
Is that what
it's-
you're talking about? The Sandy
No, that was
Hook
butt
shooting
chugging.
thing?
That was butt chugging.
That was all the butt chugging, but what was weird is the case has gotten so bad that the judge at the end of it butt chugged in the court. It's gotten even worse because now Alex Jones keeps commenting on the case like on his weird part of public, and like legal representatives all over the internet are like, he needs to stop doing this because as soon as the judge finds out, they're just going to be like, you can't say that about me. Fuck you. Like, it's so good. We're watching.
Oh, I
Trump
want him
is
to go to
not
jail
winning
so
in
bad.
Trump is not winning in 2024. All of his propagandists are going to jail because they all are too. They've drove themselves more crazy. It's very fun. The day is great. I'm bled from the face. I think Trump's going to lose. I think Joe Biden might die. I don't know why I care about that, but it'll be all right. What's going on, everybody?
Predictions
feel-
for 2022.
I was hoping. I've been listening to a lot of. I read the latest issue of The Atlantic, which is called January 6th was a test run. And
yes, I know.
I've been-
Yes, I saw that headline as well.
It's a fantastic issue. There's a lot of great stuff in it. Terrifying. And a couple of the podcasts that I've been listening to are like, oh, all the people that we're following underneath are ramping up. Shit's about to get ugly. So
that's true. But then you look at the other side and you look at the preparations the Justice Department and various military and army groups are making, and they were like Mark Milley's basically walking around the Pentagon, cracking his neck, being like, "Bring it on, bring it." Like
that would
Garrett,
be the best if it happened, and then they shut it the fuck down. That's a best case scenario. I don't like this simmering bullshit. I want someone to be knocked unconscious.
Who's the Attorney General? Merrick Garland.
Oh, Merrick Garland, yeah.
Merrick Garland, if you read between the lines of like what Merrick Garland, who continuous briefing about this, is basically what he's saying is we're going Mossad on this. Like, did you see today where he basically was like, the hunt never ends. We will get all who is responsible. And basically what he is saying is, attention Republicans, we know you think you're going to take the House or the Senate in 2022. We're moving to have arrested everyone before that. So if you undo the charges, that's sedition and we can get you again. Like, I can come after. Like, it's basically like here's the one thing with everyone being critical of Joe Biden, and I understand he's a very ineffectual fucking center-right annoying white man. But
is there just a guy in the Senate who keeps cock blocking him?
There is that, but hang on. There is that, but there's no way that he wouldn't. If you haven't been in the Senate for 30 years and then do what he's doing without being like, he has a backup plan, I don't know what that is. But I do know that he's definitely positioning things so that part of his legacy is bringing all the January 6th people to justice. And also someone on the other side went to Trump and start talking about the vaccine. So they're basically trying to depoliticize the vaccine and make anyone who is anti-vaccine just not part of the discourse. And if that's the case, Biden wins because everyone will just be like, it took Trump a fucking 2 years to be like, the vaccine's okay, even though he paid for it. Like, I feel like we're in a good place. It's just the darkest time. We're heading towards the good times, but before we get there, we have to crawl through a room filled to the brim with liquid shit. Like, you open the door and your room is filled with liquid shit. That's how much liquid shit is in the next room. And then after that is like a place that's got a shower.
I hope so. I'm not as optimistic as you. We lost Jimmy Pesto, man. Anything's possible.
I don't know who Jimmy Pesto is. And Ashley, who's Jimmy Pesto?
No idea.
Character in Bob's Burgers. You definitely know the actor that played him because he was on Mad TV.
Oh, Jack Johnston, the guy who participated, the guy who played the cop in the Sarah Silverman program?
Yeah.
Can anyone else, am I the only one that remembers how bad and how crazy the Sarah Silverman? Oh, yeah. That would be really good. Coming in from Tiger, they should force them to be tased in the balls. Ashley, have you ever seen the Sarah Silverman program?
No, I haven't actually, which is weird because I really like her, but I don't think I'm actually able to watch it, and that's probably why.
Don't watch it. You will. Like, it took me years to get over my hatred of Sarah Silverman after watching that show. The show opens. It was made in the 2009 to 2011, which was the weird time of like.
Yeah, see, that'll be why I didn't watch it though as well, because I was 14.
Oh, fuck you! Yeah, no one's 14 in 2009. You're not supposed to be 14 then.
I was 14 in 2009.
You're not supposed to be 14 in Obama's first term. No one is 14 in Obama's first term. Chris, how old were you during?
I was working in a refugee camp.
No,
I was in Burma working with kids who were orphaned by a junta.
I was living
Ashley's age.
I was living in Montreal. I was working in a restaurant, so I was dealing with the same type of people that created the refugee crisis that Chris was. They were just in the West, so they worked in the restaurant industry, as capable of murder, as insane, just focused. For example, 2008, 2009, that's when I learned what crack smelled like, because one of the evening head chef, Mike, smoked crack. And here's how I knew what he did. He'd say,
I feel like it's not a good smell. I feel like my guess, if I have to guess what crack smells like, it's like burning plastic.
Yeah, but very sweet. It's like if burning plastic was made of sugar, and he would just smoke crack in the public bathroom that we shared with customers. Later was fired for smoking crack in that bathroom. And my favorite part was argued about it because his point was, I've been doing this for months. Now you're just making a stand. That's not fair. You got to come up with a different reason to fire me. Possibly the best trying to keep my job excuse ever. And where I was stood, I was like, he wins. Yep. You
it's
lose.
a good argument.
Yeah.
It is a good argument. If you have a problem with something, you got to take care of it as soon as you find out about it.
No, I disagree. You wait, you hold it over their heads, and then gradually you blackmail them until you own their house.
That's where Chris has never dealt with a crackhead before. I'll get your house. And he's like, I'll get to it first. You know what I'm like? What are you doing?
I had a crackhead landlord. That dude was wild.
Oh, I'm really glad that wasn't just me.
Yeah, that happened to me too for a second.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
You went all crackly and robot-y for a beat.
Oh shit! Okay.
You talked about how you could never violate an executive of OCP. Actually, you have seen the movie RoboCop.
No.
What? Who gets shot in the dick?
You'd like it. You'd really like it. A guy gets shot in the dick.
I think you
would really like it.
Yeah, bitches.
Okay, I'll watch RoboCop.
Oh, it's no, that was 100% the dirty hippie.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Probably.
We know King Geo. That was the joke.
Speaking of
jobs, go ahead.
Which we were not.
Yeah, please.
I have an interview on Friday for a job as an assistant manager at a bowling alley.
Yeah,
I can't believe they're letting you go straight to assistant manager.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing you do a show with me and Chris because I am someone who celebrated his, I believe, 28th birthday at a bowling alley that I believe Chris attended.
That's how old I am.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was there. That was a good day.
Yeah. It was at especially there's a weird bowling alley in Finsbury Park that's like quietly beloved. That's super weird. It's the only bowling alley I've ever been to. Congrats on the interview. I've been at my job for 12 years as of this week. That's right, everybody.
12 years.
Congratulations, Gia.
I have never lasted more than 2 years in a job.
Stand-up comedian. That's the only job I've ever lasted this long at.
I didn't even get that far with that.
But you're still doing it. You are still a stand-up comedian.
Yes, I am.
I was a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, I feel like
how long? For almost 4.5 years before I was full-time. And by full-time, I just went, I'll just be incredibly poor. So if you can live on not even 20 grand Canadian a year, you can be a pro stand-up comedian.
I've been living on, I don't know what 20 grand Canadian is in pounds. What is that?
Not a lot.
Well, if you're converting into pounds and not, but if you're living your life, it's actually not that far off.
I've been living on less than 15k pounds a year.
Pounds.
Yeah, then you could do it.
You can probably do it.
12k the year before.
It's 11,000. It's like 11,000 pounds. But wait,
that's if you're converting.
Hang on, but this is 2009. So 2009. Holy shit! Yeah, the pound was almost 2 to 1, the Canadian dollar. So quite a time. Yeah. 13. Yeah. So you've got this. Yeah, absolutely.
So Ashley, what regime change will you bring to this? Let's interview Ashley for her job right now. Okay. So
I don't think I'm being brought in to bring change.
Ashley Manning. So this has been a family-run bowling alley for 50 years. It's not a family-run bowling alley. It's a commercial chain. Are you trying to tell me about my business? I could have sworn you were here.
I'm the mummy
for
in
a job.
Commercial chain.
I'm the mummy.
Commercial chain.
Tell me I'm the mummy. Tell me I'm the mummy.
You're
Could
the
you
mummy?
please tell him? Thank you very much. That's very important. His name
Do
tag
we
will say
mummy,
John,
with
but
bandages or the mother?
he's the emotional support.
What's weird is
robot.
Chris is the mother. I'm the mummy.
There's no daddy here.
Yeah, exactly.
There's only mummies.
Yeah, and by that I mean we're all paid 30% less than we should be. That's what we're letting you know. First off, right off the bat.
we're gonna give you
paid quite well.
We're gonna give you a hypothetical situation, and you tell us how you deal with it. Family of 6 comes in. They all steal their bowling shoes, but they scatter. Who do you choose to chase down with the most likelihood of gathering all the shoes back in the near future?
the youngest child.
Walk us through that.
Yeah, exactly. What part of the
Probably
bowling
going to
alley?
be the easiest to catch.
You've clearly never chased a child before.
Would the youngest in this case is 10?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on then. Might need to. No, you know what? I'm still gonna take. I feel like youngest child is still the best bet of getting them all back, because older children will like want to protect younger child, and you know they will. Basically, I think the whole family will come back for the child.
So you're going to
So-
hold this child illegally.
Yeah.
You're going to illegally detain a 10-year-old.
They started it by breaking the law by stealing. So the law is out the window at this
I don't
stage.
think that they started it defense is very
Yeah,
popular.
that works. Yeah. Speaking as someone who had
So,
an
Prince
ED
Andrew, why
hearing
did you
yesterday-
statutorily rape this child?
Whoa! Where the fuck did that come from?
First of all, lucky 15-year-old. Second, they started it.
Actually, I know that we're running scenarios, and I'm glad we did. I'm just going to give you a piece of advice.
He's using it seems to be his pattern to use terrible defenses. So.
Sure. Whatever you do tomorrow at the job interview, make sure to mention statutory rape. Whatever you do. Like if you have to really shoehorn it in, just be like, you know what I don't like? Statutory rape. And then just back to whatever answer that you were trying to give and just see what they do.
Yeah, because they have a lot of children's birthday parties. So it's important that they know where you stand.
And bowling alleys seem like a place a 23-year-old takes a 15-year-old on a date. You know what I mean? I can buy beer here.
Yeah, and none of their friends are going to see them. That's
Exactly.
smart. 23-year-olds don't hang out in bowling alleys.
Yeah, because 23-year-olds should not be. Oh, gross. Gross. What?
I'm
I have a
trying to
question for you.
decide if it could be that this is one of those fun jobs or one of those really horrendous jobs that sounds fun.
You're going to hate it.
I'm going to hate it.
You're gonna hate it.
You're going to hate it.
Because here's what you never want to be: the person that goes to the thing everyone else goes once a year, every day. He said, being a stand-up comedian. Now, listen, what I would say is the main thing is you want to establish. Here's I think your problem when it comes to these types of jobs and day jobs in general is you have not learned that you do not care and you are actively trying to be stopped. You need to stop caring. You will 100%. Ashley, look at me. You will have such a better time at this type of job and be able to focus on your actual career of being a comedian and someone in show business. Your problem is you try at these jobs. This is a massive mistake. You need to be a shiftless, confusing individual that the higher ups know that they just hired you, so they don't want to fire you. All you got to do is get through that interim period, and then it is time to do exactly what is expected of you. The bare minimum, of course, nothing more. Chris?
And find
Aaron?
a friend.
Oh,
Find a
great
friend.
advice.
You got to have at least one person that you get along with. And if you're assistant manager, you can write the rota, so you can decide to work with that person. You're never going to be scheduled with someone that you hate. So find a friend, because those are long shifts. There's a lot of standing around, there's a lot of doing nothing. And then all of a sudden it's a bunch of screaming kids and parents who are pissed at you. And there's going to be a lot of asking people to put their mask back on.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that.
There's going to be a lot of that. And so there's going to be a lot of disinfecting balls. And I don't mean bowling.
Like getting all up in there. 3 fingers deep.
Quick
so yeah,
question.
you need an ally.
The bowling alley, I don't know about exchange, but there is an arcade there as well.
Dope.
I don't know is the answer to that question from for the podcast listeners. Mildred Seashells, great name. Does the bowling alley do arcade ticket exchange? I really don't know.
Also coming in from My Name is Ruin, I have
Oh,
all of
sorry.
Sorry. I have all these points piling up. I do not do with them. Please help. I assume you're talking about channel points. We are working on that.
We're going to come up with some channel point redemptions.
Yeah, it's hard because we don't stream directly to Twitch through our OBS, because we do StreamYard. There's not a lot of things that we can't like have things pop up in the stream.
Yeah.
So we're trying to think of other things that we can give you guys for the points. If you have any ideas, chuck them out,
Pop
we'd
'em
love
in
to
that
hear them.
Discord,
But we're
please.
actively working on that. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if
will
we should
get you
bring back
something.
the timeouts.
I like that it's organic a little bit, and also at a certain
Yeah.
point, it was that sort of thing of like I like an alert or something we can trigger. The problem with the timeout, it very quickly was like it was fun, but we'd be in a groove, and then it would be
Yeah.
timeout and be like, "Hey, bye." And we
Yeah.
also didn't establish how long the timeout was, so like,
Yeah.
there were a lot of problems. What are you gonna do? Here's what I say, Ashley. Why do you try at these jobs? I actually want to talk about this because I was thinking about this when you put in the Discord you got a bowling alley job. I think your issue is that you try at these jobs and you have to not try. Like I think you have pride in your work at them.
Disagree.
I have pride in myself at everything that I do.
Disagree.
Yes,
You can
I have pride
try.
in-
You can't expect everyone else to try.
That's the other thing.
That's the thing. You
I
can
was
hold
getting to
yourself to
that.
your own thing,
I
but you
don't
cannot
expect
hold
other
other
people to
people to yours. But you can't get annoyed at them for not. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
you have
is
to
you have to
literally-
just acknowledge
have-
that they're going to be.
So the position that I'm
Terrible.
in, or the position that I'm going for is just, I have done this level, that kind of lower management level. That's been what I've been doing since I was 20.
Okay.
So I have worked with teams of people. I'm good at overseeing people. I'm
Here's what I'm
good
trying
at
to
it. And I'm very, like, when I've worked in other jobs, I've literally gone up to people and been like, you don't have to do this shit. You're paid minimum wage. I'm paid this much more than you so that I do this shit.
See, no, right there. That's what you gotta. If you want to, you gotta, you do the. I did the exact bare
Just
minimum
started
and was
7
one
sentences.
of the greatest, worst employees the world has ever seen. Do you understand? Never been fired. Have
Yeah,
been
me too.
asked to stay, and I was actively a problem for management, and also offered promotions. Anton and James, where the crackhead was, and Tony and Jimmy were. Do you want to be the manager? Absolutely not. Yeah, I didn't think so. You've just been here long enough when we don't know what else to do. Okay, yeah, this is the thing.
What do we think of this suggestion from Selk?
So the podcast listeners, Selk says, this is for Channel Point Redemptions. How about let users pick an item, kettles, for example, and you lot have to tell a story about your worst experience with them. Well, story time's not a bad Channel Point Redemption. Story time with a prompt.
I like that. I like that.
I'll add it to the list. I'll add it to the
Funny
list.
hat redemptions. I like this as well.
Funny hat is a fun one.
And also King Geo makes a great point. Delegating the shit work to the lawyers is also how you get ahead. And again, it's what I'm saying, as I'm not saying not have pride in yourself. You should absolutely have pride in yourself. You should also absolutely have pride in your work. But how I always viewed it was my work was being a person in show business. This day job was the money I needed because I couldn't make enough money in show business. So I only had so much energy to give to it. And if it got in the way of the main goal, I would just be like, goodbye. And when you have that freedom, what you learn so quickly is employers just do not want to go through the hiring process again. And you are in. I like Chris. Oh, yeah. Jack Handy. Can we bring back Jack Handy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What was Jack Handy?
Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy.
Yeah, that was an early on. Because I think you got that for your book for your birthday or maybe for Christmas.
Oh, it was the thing where you were reading out with the brick wall behind you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No,
No,
that
with the
was
library.
Seinfeld.
The library.
It's also the other thing we can bring back, ladies and gentlemen, is we could read from the live journal for points because that has dropped.
That's
Jesus,
a fun
it's been
idea.
months and months and months since we did that.
And Lord knows I'm fine with never bringing it up again. I just feel the people may want it. Also, by the way, you guys should probably check out the podcast description because after yesterday's show, I smoked so much weed and then just did so much admin. And the description is literally at one point, I just break the fourth wall and explain that I don't remember what happened during the show.
Okay, I'm going to go look that up right now.
So basically, folks, what he's saying is please put in your stream summaries because John is in charge of the podcast for the next month and it's not going to get better.
For the next month?
Yeah, well, I think
he's
doing January because he was gone for so long.
Yeah,
Oh.
remember?
You
Isn't
don't
that
have
nice?
to do that.
Or you can jump in whenever you want. Actually, I don't mind doing it.
No, I missed it.
Oh, you agreed to it.
Yeah.
But did I? I thought it was just this week I agreed to.
No. Why would you?
Oh, that's
the
so
original
nice.
schedule is the week. Yeah, that's right. Nice guy. Also, I got so much done yesterday. I was in front of this computer until about 9:30 doing a bunch of stuff I haven't done because of COVID and everything. And then immediately had to wake up early this morning and check it all because I was like, what the fuck did I do? Oh, it was very fun. I haven't been in my home in 4 months. This last night was the first time I slept here in 4 months. It was so fucking nice.
I'm just gonna read out the podcast description because
it's really good.
I'm sorry, but just the first 3 words.
Go ahead.
Guys, the guys are back. And man, what a show. We talk Liverpool rambling nonsense, and let me, John Hastings, who is writing this, level with you, the listener. I got a bit baked on air today, and I cannot for the life of me recall what the hell was said. I know I had a good time, so if you like me at all, maybe assume it rules. Maybe assume it rules.
Okay, that makes at least that's a sentence. Good.
I'm surprised you didn't put a peace sign in there.
You didn't put an emoji in a description, actually.
Is there a Bob Marley flag emoji?
I like it. Absolutely not. I wish there was. Yeah, listen, people like it. For once, a story not involving food. Now, Selk, I know you. I mean,
sorry.
Isn't that correct? They're guys. The guys are back.
You didn't put a comma in, and that's what bothers me.
Why would I use a comma? Punctuation is for. Oh, I didn't realize you were a boomer, Ashley. Okay,
I love punctuation. I'm pro Ashley. You're gone.
So
we're putting a comma on his talking right now. Gattaca.
Am I the only one that thinks there's more snow in the countdown than there used to be? Am I the only one that there's more snow? Like the snow didn't used to come.
You're the only one. It's exactly the same as it's always been.
It's exactly the same.
It's exactly the same, John.
I don't remember a piece of snow flying through the zero.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this brunch just here. That's fun. Also, Chris, did you add this?
Yeah, that was for New Year.
That's good. Did we actually end up showing that on New Year's?
Yeah, I turned it on and off, so it was like exploding at midnight.
Yeah.
Good.
I remember thinking, "Ooh, that's fancy."
Selk's got a story. Seeing as I mentioned kettles, I started the new year by reaching over a boiling kettle to grab a cup, burned myself on the steam, yanked my hand away, realized I never picked up the cup, so I reached over the kettle again and burned myself a second time. Somehow forgetting this happens already. I've had a bandage on my arm since the start of the year. Here's to starting off 2022 on a good note. Well,
that's ridiculous.
That's fantastic. It's a story I can see everyone on this podcast making. So congratulations, Selk.
When I went back home at Christmas, my parents have put loads of little permanent marker lines on the kettle. And I was like, why have you drawn on the kettle? And it turns out they're just trying to be eco-friendly. They're just like, well, this is how much we need for the teapot. This is how much we need for just a cup of tea.
I like that.
And this is how much we need for coffee. And I was just like, I kind of want to be annoyed, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's good work. Solid.
So I learned my kettle is broken yesterday because I was, after my flurry of activity, I wanted a nice cup of tea to relax on the roof while I was listening to Mythos by Stephen Fry. By the way, if you're looking for a modern take on the Greek myths, just told by a charming posh man, Mythos by Stephen Fry absolutely fucking unwinds the old neck. Anyway, want a delicious piece of a cup of tea. So now bear in mind, this involves some heavy marijuana use. Turned it on and I filled it up. So full nice kettle, turned it on, going about doing other things, still working. 20 minutes go by. I went, oh, tea must be ready. Walk over to my kettle. It's like almost all the water's gone. I'm like, well, what the hell is going on here? Must be some sort of leak, I tell you. And then I fill it up again. And by the way, this time I go, now you're going to set a timer for after 5 minutes so you can check it. I mean, that's a good idea, Stone John. Good idea. So I turn the kettle back on, open up the timer, get ready to set the timer. Totally forgot. Keep working for another 35 minutes. Again, come back. By now, it's actively hot in my kitchen because of all the steam that's been let out into the air. Because I've just steamed 2 kettles full of water. And
you just reminded me of a timer that I ignored earlier.
And then I finally figured out on the third one and made some delicious tea. What was the timer you set and never used for? Oh, take that
My
pill. Take that
anxiety
fucking pill.
I have to take them 3 times a day. And
Are these for your red wipes?
They're not for them. No, this is the anxiety stuff. It's not messing with my head in any way. It's it's propranolol, which basically is just a beta blocker. So it's not going to change the anxiety in my head. It's just going to try and suppress the physical effects of the anxiety. So I think my nausea is starting to clear up a little bit. And I've been nauseous for a good decade. So
Jesus Christ. John.
Nice.
I will now sell 5 copies of the beta blocker.
I don't get it.
Damn it. Yes. High fidelity. I will now sell 5 copies of the beta.
Oh, fuck. See, I've only read the book. I started the movie and I went, this is not how I pictured any of this. Fuck this. And because they got the guys in the record store wrong. I've never watched that movie.
Oh, that's right. I remember you saying.
Let me say this about anxiety medication. So since that last week, since in the time that we were off, basically, I had, and there's some argument. I feel it was 3. Other people involved felt it was 4 to burgeoning on maybe a 4.5 or a 5. Panic attacks between December 12th and January 1st. Let me tell you what happens when people who know anything about mental health find out about that. Say a therapist, they look at you like this and go immediately try and figure out if it's situational or do you need to go to the hospital. It's been determined it might be situational, but I'm now being observed by my therapist and have to like keep an eye on it because he was like, basically someone in my life is like very much aware of mental health and was like, you've had too many panic attacks to not be hospitalized. And I was like, what? This is a normal amount when things are very stressful. And that is not something you want to say to someone because they look at you like this. No, this has happened before. And I was like, of course. So I'm dealing with it so well. He said, weeping. But yeah, so that's what I got going on right now. It's pretty fun. Definitely it was situational though, which is I do not know people like how people who are, it's purely just a chemical imbalance in your brain. Like my fucking empathy knows no bounds for people that I just wake up and there's no reason, but I'm like I fucking $1,000 should be given to you every time you think that because it's just so fucking brutal. Because
I'd be so rich.
Oh my god! Because I can point and go, oh, this is why this is like. It's one of those things where it's like, this is why this is happening. This is how I react at a certain point. I think I know how to get my way out of it. But it's just the idea that there's no thing you can point to as a cause. I would just, fuck. My heart bleeds for you with sympathy. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I can literally be like, I know why this is happening. I can go introduce you to the individuals and their circumstances that have caused my circumstances to be this way. And it just hurts my mind every time. That said, Ashley, do you have one of those fun pill containers? I've really always wanted one of those.
I have tried them, and no.
Man, I mean,
no, I don't. You know what I do instead? Because basically, it's another chore you have to do each week with those little pill things because you have to sit down and put them all into their little windows and no. So basically, all I do is I write on my pill packet. I don't know if you can.
Oh yeah.
Oh hey.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a way better way of doing it. That's a way better way.
I got these little permanent markers that are really fine.
Nice.
So.
Ow.
But I was using a normal size permanent marker on these ones.
Not as organized.
It's really fat and messy looking, but also because I had to try and divide these ones by the days because I have to take 3 a day on these ones. So I was like, I don't know how to do this. Turns out I don't need to put in the days. I just need to put in 1, 2, 3, and that's like enough.
I like a system. And I like a sort of messy system that's only for you.
I completely agree.
I'm trialing an app to help me have better alarms and tracking of all my meds. But you know what's really, I feel like if anybody knows any app developers, I would love to sit down and design a women's, or that's not an inclusive term, but an app that helps you track medication and your periods. That would be amazing.
Nobody else would be better with that app. This is something you should totally add to it, which is when you enter the medication, it immediately goes, that will affect your birth control. Just watch out. You want to glove up when you love up.
That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That would be amazing. And also it should have little have little things like, if you're on heart medication, don't eat grapefruit because it will, or contraceptives. Don't eat grapefruit because grapefruit will fuck with those medications.
Yeah, I learned
if you
that
eat
on
grapefruit, it can totally just switch off your medication. You will get pregnant, or it will stop your heart medication from working.
I wonder if that works for illicit drugs as well, because I know that they say that if you're too high on acid, you can drink some orange juice and it sort of takes the edge off. So I wonder if grapefruit juice would do a similar thing.
So orange juice have you ever ingested too much THC? So if you've smoked too much weed, especially edibles, and you're like, fuck. A glass or two of orange juice sorts you right out. It's like there's something in orange juice that is I always call it's like one of those Breaking Bad things where it's like it's the chemical compound that counteracts THC. So it's one of those weird, why did science learn this? And it's like, science did not learn this. A rogue guy who paid attention in chemistry learned this. And now you all can smoke weed of reckless abandon. Just keep some orange juice in the house. Speaking of stupid things you shouldn't do, I might go look at bikes today.
It was inevitable, I guess.
John, no.
Thank you for I'm glad to see you blame the victim, Ashley. I had nothing to do with either of my accidents. I was just a victim of horrible circumstances. How dare you blame the victim? Be like Chris, who just quietly judges me but says nothing, and will eventually attend my funeral and not mention that a bike will definitely be the cause.
Yeah,
I just
I'm gonna ride a bike to it.
I like you now. I'm attached.
I know, I'm pretty great, but I've survived too. And if you look at the odds, the next ones will
the
be my
odds
death.
you'll probably die.
I mean, I don't know about that. I am going to wear a helmet from now on. I made that rule.
You were not wearing a helmet?
Absolutely not. I'm fucking tough, bro. Didn't wear a helmet for either one of them.
No.
Nope.
No,
Update.
he's not. That's a full timeout. No, that is a.
I have a helmet. I just looked up LSD and grapefruit juice, and it took me to a website called shroomery.com. Grapefruit juice does not stop LSD's effects.
Share.
Let's
go through shroomery.com and see what they have to offer.
A lot. It's all compounds and stuff.
I read a really fascinating book over Christmas, which was a fiction novel, but it was set in Native American Canada.
Let me
and
guess.
it was
The whiteys are the baddies.
no, actually, it's about it is about an FBI investigation into somebody who is using native medicinal knowledge to cut a new form of heroin.
Interesting.
Oh, so he's stepping on it, but with the knowledge of Gaia.
Yeah. So
he's
anti-fentanyl.
using the steps of a rain dance. Is that inappropriate to say? I wasn't sure. In my head, I was like,
that's probably inappropriate.
I think saying it might be okay. I sort of thought that you might do the dance. That was where I thought that you were going to do that for a second. I was like, not good.
But yeah, it was really interesting because there was a load of science to do with mushrooms, and basically they thought they were using mushrooms and mixing it in. No, it wasn't heroin; it was crystal meth. And so they were mixing it. They were using mushrooms in with crystal meth, and yeah, it was really, really good. It's called The Firekeeper's Daughter. If anyone wants to read it, it's good.
Okay. I like this.
But again, it's like a YA fiction book.
Our last helmet PSA campaign here in Denmark featured a Viking delaying the departure of a raid because he doesn't want to wear his helmet and gives all the excuses people give with regards to bicycle helmets.
That's so funny.
That's very silly.
I don't disagree with everyone who's been like, you should wear a helmet. I always want to be like, you're right. I should. I've been very stupid and continue to be very stupid.
That's like lesson 1 when you ride a bike as a child is wear a helmet.
Oh, not in Canada. None of us wore helmets.
No,
none of us. I never wore helmets, and I rode my bike.
I was not allowed on a
recklessly.
bicycle if I didn't wear a bike.
Yeah, you're right. I assume also Ireland, all the adults know that drinking and driving is bad and they shouldn't do it. I assume that that's a thing that everyone knows. Because guess what is not true?
Maybe that's why you're made to wear a helmet on your bike.
Well, in Canada, all the adults are drinking and driving, so they can't tell us to wear helmets on our bikes.
Exactly. Like,
oh no, a lot of people in Ireland drink and drive.
That's because they're dope.
But is there shame to it? Let me ask you this question: is like there's no shame?
Oh, there is a lot of shame now, but maybe 20 years ago there wasn't as much.
There is.
Like I remember going down to the pub and my dad having like 3 pints and driving home.
I mean,
but
yeah,
you wouldn't be
to
paralytic,
Canada
but
right now, like Canada right now, it's like it is like bringing up the vaccine, being like, "Are you gonna drive?" And oh boy, I've had to do it, and it never ever ends with the person listening to reason and calling a cab. I don't. It does in every other country. You try it in fucking Canada. Hey, you've had 8 beers, and this is what you will always get. I'm taking the back roads. Oh, good. So where the houses and children are. Very good.
I tried to stop when I was in school. No, I think it was my last year of school. Oh, this is a great story.
Go on. Can I run a pee? Because I feel like this is going to be a good one, but I want to be totally focused, and I'm about to literally piss
go
my
pee.
pants.
Okay.
Go pee.
Well, I'll tell a story that I've already told as far as the drunk test while John's away. But just to remind, if anyone wasn't watching, this genuinely works every time I've done it. You get your person, you get your friend to stand there, and when they're being like, "I'm fine, I can drive," you go, "Okay, we're gonna do a reflex test," and you get them to put their hands at their sides, and they just stand there, just totally relaxed, and you just slap them in the face, just full pow.
I'm gonna have to remember that.
Works every single time. They always just laugh and go, "Man, I didn't even try to block you." And it's like, yeah, right. They always sleep on the couch.
Excellent.
Slap some sense into them. UTS or violence is sometimes an option.
Violence is sometimes the answer.
Totally works every single time because you can't reason with them. You have to show them.
Oh, great. I need to do that. Oh, my days.
Yeah, because like I
I'm
know
really,
a bunch of people
focused on that story, so I don't forget it.
Write it down. It works every single time. Call it a reflex test. Very important. Otherwise, they just think you're slapping them.
Yes, I can see how that could be easily misconstrued.
Yeah, but yeah, and it's a win-win because your friend doesn't drive drunk, and you get to fucking slap someone. It's so fun. It's so fun. It's so rarely
Would a
get to
kick
slap
to the
people.
crotch also work coming in from Steve Mooney?
Yes, absolutely. But then it's like they're gonna take that real personal. That's gonna that's no
and
good.
also it's not their direct periphery, I guess.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. I just feel like it would only make them angrier. You kick someone in the balls, they're gonna drive out of spite now.
They're gonna be upset. Yeah, they're gonna be upset.
Understandably. And you're gonna fight them.
Yeah.
They'll probably fight you, but you slap them in the face. They're so surprised. They're always so surprised because you don't mention the slap. You just say they expect you to be like, "All right, try and hit my hand before I pull it away." Some
Yeah.
No.
That's great. I really like that.
It's so fun. Hey, Inachu.
Inachu, welcome into the stream.
Welcome.
Okay,
I have to pee too. So Ashley, you explain your thing, and I'll be right.
What thing?
Well, you can't wait. You can't start the story with Chris gone.
I'll have to just wait.
Ashley, how are you feeling in the transition back from post holidays? Like, because basically where I am, it feels very weird because no one really knows what the deal with Omicron is in the moment. So everyone's like, vacation till Friday.
I think it's kind of the same For me, to be honest, I'm a little bit like, I don't really know where I stand anymore, because when the restrictions lift, you're kind of like, great, we can kind of do some stuff now for a bit, and then the waves and the numbers rise, and you're like, okay, they haven't brought in any restrictions, but I don't want to get this, so you're kind of trying to be careful again. And I'm getting my booster tomorrow, so I just would like to have that and maybe not get COVID that quickly after it.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's one of those things where I got me the old booster.
Whoa, sorry, Inachu, you had COVID in 2019.
I think the theory is my uncle may have also had COVID in 2019. I know a few people.
You went to the emergency room twice.
Technically, went to the emergency ROM twice. That is just a really weird computer.
That's a silly
program
point to make.
I know, right? One of those guys.
Don't be that guy, John. You're better than that.
I want to be that guy. I think you'll actually find you're in the plane, not on the plane. Those guys should be thrown out of the plane. It affected me where I kept falling down, passing out. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's not good. No, that's not good at all.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. I want to know. I'm intrigued to meet the last person to get COVID. I really hope it's.
That's not gonna be for 20 years or so.
Yeah, or ever.
Like,
it's just.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't wait for when
How long did it
everyone's
take
so
to
shocked.
get rid of smallpox. COVID is going to become like a common cold, flu. It's just going to become the same thing where it's just going to keep circulating.
Yeah, and then we won't know what it is. You'll just you may have it or may not have it. It's going to be a whole goddamn thing, and we're just going to have to deal with it. 'Tis life. What are you going to do?
You guys talking about AIDS?
That's right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Chris, did you change shirts, or was that just me?
Nope.
That's just you. He was wearing that shirt the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
We matched in color, but not in tone. Both wearing gray.
Okay, my story.
Yeah.
It's not as good now because we've built it up because I had to wait to tell it because you guys wanted to pee. But anyway.
No, it's a great story. We're all ready. We can't wait.
Not one.
So
peeing is not a one.
So
peeing is a
I
need.
tried
AIDS
to stop a friend drunk driving once.
Go ahead.
And he just looked at me and he just said, Ashley, fuck off.
Oh!
And I was just like, all right, I'm not getting in your car then. Now, I was driving my own car anyway. But the funny part of the story is that is the night I crashed my car.
Please tell me if you crashed it into a drunk driver, I'm jumping out the window that is right here.
No, I crashed it into a ditch.
Oh, classic drunk move.
Yeah,
it's a fucking sick drunk move. I weirdly, I've basically always been hit by a car. I backed into a pole and it dented a bumper, but I've never weirdly crashed a car. And bear in mind, I have been in 15 to maybe 20 different accidents. I've broken cars. I've been hit by so many cars.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The very first time I got in a car, I took my mother's wing mirror off.
What?
Whoopsie.
Who are you?
Nice. What'd you clip?
Yeah. I hope it was your mom.
A cyclist?
She's just
it was
waving
her.
you off? Bye,
No,
Ashley,
it was
bye,
her
Mom.
shed thing. She
was
had
her
she had a porta cabin unit that she worked out of outside the house, and I reversed and I just sort of dodged it, but I hit the wing mirror off it.
Oh
yeah.
I gotta tell you, the portrait you paint of your childhood is so many different childhoods. Like you have your jaws being broken by a variety of dental moves. You're backing into a weird porta cabin. Your parents are chocolatiers.
Also, my mother's car at the time was a space wagon, like soccer mom kind of
Like
long
the paneling
fix
station
van.
wagon,
Show
you
us a
put dogs in
photo
the
of this
back, or
van.
like
Show
4
us a
kids.
photo
Yeah.
of the van. Show us a photo of the van.
Okay,
I
let
wanna
me
know
see
what
if
a
I can
space
find
wagon
it.
is. What the fuck?
I think
The
it's just a
space
station
wagon.
wagon. It's just a
Yeah,
station
it's just
wagon.
station wagon. We call it space wagon.
Well, then, if
Eh,
it's called the Space Wagon in Ireland, why isn't it called the Space Wagon everywhere goddamn else? Because it's such a better name. Also,
I feel
Chris.
like I've never really considered how stressful your childhood must have been for your parents.
me.
Yeah.
imagine breaking your own jaw.
Because like all these things that are happen to you, but they're like in charge of you and presumably love you.
Yeah,
And that
I mean,
is
I was trouble from.
stressful.
Yeah. I mean, I put my parents through hell quite plain and simply. I mean, I stopped breathing within my first week. And then I was sick all through my childhood. My brother wasn't as bad, but like I was getting ear infections like every 6 months. I had chicken pox and German measles at the same time.
Back
when
up.
I was like
Back the
3.
fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Fuck you. What the hell are German measles?
I mean, I think they're similar to normal measles, but I don't know. They're just I don't remember having them. I was only 3.
Rubella.
Rubella. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
I was like a bit of a timid, like not timid, but physically timid child. You know, like I've mentioned before that my folks were scuba divers and everything. They had to change their approach to everything like that because I couldn't stay in the water as long as them. I would turn blue. Like I just couldn't. I was not robust. I've never been a robust. John, what just happened? Your face changed.
I'm just thinking about your.
Dude, your mic technique today is terrible.
No, I know.
It's really
I'm just I was literally just thinking about your parents being professional scuba divers and being like, well, we've been doing this for 20 years. Let's take this infant child, throw him in the water. I assume they can keep up with us. That's what that in my mind. I was like, yeah, no shit. You weren't as. You shouldn't have been told by your parents. You're not as robust as us. You're like, I'm 3, and this is the fucking Atlantic Ocean, and they're like, I can do it. I'm a man in my 40s.
My brother was a year younger than me, and he was fine. So
not the same. Not the same. Yeah, he's the freak. Again, I don't actually think you had any medical problems. I think that your parents' expectations of a baby and scuba diving was a little too much. You know,
I'm going to go with the hospital stays beg to differ. I'm going to go with 2 diseases at once Manning.
Do we know if she caught any of those from untreated salt water? I'm flipping the script.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia article right now for rubella, and it doesn't mention sea witch curse. So,
but it doesn't not mention that, does it, Chris? Chris, does it?
I'm going to add something right now. It says specifically not caused by curses of sea witches.
Oh my god!
What's interesting is I'm going to head in there and then add, or does it?
So coming in from Tiger, multiple maladies Manning.
Oh God, like a Harry Potter character.
Yeah,
it does sound like a Harry Potter character.
Yeah, it's one of those new Harry Potter characters for
One of
J.K.
the
Rowling's
ghosts
new
haunts the
turf approved
nurses'
Harry
wing.
Potter.
Can we talk about the Harry Potter reunion? Did you guys watch it?
No, I didn't watch it. Was it any good? Was it charming?
We can
I
absolutely.
thought it was
talk about
nice.
I'm sure it was charming. They're all very nice.
Really
I like that they
charming, and
all.
they just danced around having J.K. Rowling be the person who wrote the whole thing.
So
you know?
I didn't watch the reunion, but I did read some of the press, particularly around Emma Watson leading into it, and I feel like they didn't dance around it. The producers were like, let Emma go and say whatever she wants, and then we're a sneep is what, and I haven't seen it, but I feel like that's probably what happened, because Emma Watson, if you see her in press, you see her social media output, she doesn't seem like someone to be like, we're not going to mention JK, and she'd be like, oh, we're not? Okay. J.K. Rowling can drink my piss. And they're like, okay, Emma Watson, really? Yeah, you know what I mean? She doesn't seem like someone that would be like...
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't... They sort of acknowledged that she wrote the books in as much as they had to. Mm-hmm. They had to have a little bit of a they put in interviews of Rowling from like 2019, just a couple of little things that she said at the time about Harry Potter, but they didn't have her come back and do it, which I think was really good, obviously.
Well, and also
'cause
when you're
this is
dealing
the
with
thing,
something,
it's like,
it's about
Go on.
nostalgia. It's not about like unearthing all the pride. It's not like a tell-all thing. It's about like, these are the fun memories that we had, and it's to talk to you about your fun memories.
And
that's,
this
it's
was
like, it's like when you hang out with your friends and it's like there's something big in the air and you're like, we're just not gonna, not today.
Yeah.
We'll do that another time. We all know it's there. We're gonna fucking leave it.
And this was ultimately, this was the 20-year anniversary of the movies. This was celebrating the films, the beautiful creation of the visual world that they made. And she didn't do that. You know, she might have written the books that they were based on, but she did not create the world. And she also is like, this is the thing of, you know, people saying that they want to boycott Harry Potter, or they want to boycott any movies or series or anything like that has now been tainted by somebody that works on them doing something wrong. I just think, especially when you look at films, the amount of people, when you go and you watch that Harry Potter reunion and you see the size of the crew, and you're just like, the amount of people that have poured their hearts into this and made something amazing cannot be stripped down because of the actions or the beliefs of one person. It's like, it's like saying that I don't know.
No.
Like,
Go ahead. Pick your example. Pick your example.
I realized it was a very bad example.
What was it?
But
What was it?
I was going to say that, like, you know, it's like saying that. I don't want to say it.
I want you to say it.
Well, you know, it's like saying you know, fuck basketball just because Karl Malone fucked one lucky 15-year-old.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like the classic
It's not
lucky
the whole
15-year-old
sport.
time.
It's just
the Utah.
You don't buy a Malone
and
jersey.
probably the Chicago Bulls.
If I buy a Karl Malone jersey,
is
probably
that
number
it's like
15 though.
So someone in the Buss family to the LA Lakers probably know. Yeah, and they would definitely have told league. Like, I mean, most of the league was probably aware of it, but not everyone. So you're probably right.
Yeah.
I would say, and I find it very difficult with all of these sort of things because I have a lot of trouble with the idea of separating art from the artist. But I think Harry Potter is a very interesting thing because I do know what you're saying is that it's a much bigger world than the world that J.K. Rowling created within the books. I totally see your point on that whole thing. Where I just sort of come down on it is, and I don't have an answer. I don't know how to feel about these sort of things. I just know with certain things, like, it's almost that sort of thing with like movies and books and TV. I think it is sometimes easier to separate the artist, like the art from the artist, because that art isn't directly them. It is an idea they had, especially with like when you come into the movies, other people ran with it. She didn't love how the movies were done, supposedly, right? Because she wanted Terry Gilliam. She wanted them to be much more like fantastic and weird and a bit dark and stuff like that. She felt that they were really kid movied up. Either way, but I do always think it's one of those weird discussions because in the end, she is still wildly profiting off of that reunion and those movies. Like when everyone was like, "It's so crazy she's not involved," and I'm like, she's if you say
paid,
Harry Potter, she's fine. Like that's the other thing where it's more just kind of like I just don't know what to do in these sort of things because it's one of those things where it's all fake discourse. No one is protecting trans people more. But more people are probably going, well, J.K. Rowling has told me that they shouldn't be treated with the same equality as any other human being. You know what I mean? Like, I find this whole time period so fucking bizarre because I'm just like, J.K. Rowling, asshole. All you're basically doing is going, these people are less than you and shouldn't be treated with respect or humanity. And it's just kind of like, how do you not see that? Like, it's also that sort of thing of like, when do I have to start explaining to people you can't have a nuanced conversation in the press or social media if you have an opinion that requires some nuance or like I don't know. I find it so fucking frustrating. And also it just brings up all those feelings when people are like, well, J.K. Rowling, you know, cancel culture. It's like there's no cancel culture. She has the biggest theater in the West End with her fucking name on a billboard. And I was walking by it hearing people talk about cancel culture going, what the fuck is going? Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? I don't know. I find the whole thing very depressing and sad. But I'm happy that that guy who played Ron Weasley got to be on TV again. Because
I love that they all grew up to be their character.
Yeah.
That like that's I think that's great. They've all aged similar. Like Rupert Grint has aged the worst by a mile, and he's had like
Rupert Grint. Which one's
some
Rupert Grint?
success on like
Rupert Grint is
been in-
wrong.
He's been in a couple like great West End shows.
Mhm.
Like he's had a pretty successful stage career. Movies just never really happened for him. But that's Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron's good at a couple things.
He has
and
a
he's just
baby
not gonna have
though.
the life. He's not gonna have the life that the other two have. And I think that
He has a
shows how good that
baby.
casting director was. Yeah, lots of people have babies, Ashley. Lots of people
But
have babies.
that's a
how many people I know that
success.
just not having,
You know.
No, if having a baby is a sign of success, I know some.
If you want it,
losers.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's not the same as like, you know.
It's not the same as being.
I think we all knew Ron would be a good dad, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Ron Weasley is a good dad.
The one thing that I liked from the reunion was Daniel Radcliffe's quite a good interviewer. I thought he was
Okay.
quite a good interviewer. He like interviews a lot of the older cast members.
Oh,
nice one.
really? Interesting.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I liked how they did it.
Does he ask any of the older cast members? He's like, I thought you'd be the one to cause a media storm based on all those slurs you said on set. And then Maggie Smith is like, haven't gotten it yet.
No, but he does say to Helena Bonham Carter that he wishes he was born 10 years earlier so he could tap that.
I think we all feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who
I
do you
think he looks really good.
Okay, let's do this. Which of the co-stars do we think that Daniel Radcliffe
Luna Lovegood.
I was going
don't-
to say her too.
I don't know who Luna Lovegood is.
She's the blonde.
Ivana Lynch.
The white hair one who sees fairies and stuff.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I weirdly
That would be my guess.
Cho Chang. And
I
she
think it
made
was
him
Ralph
call her
Fiennes.
Cho Chang.
It was Ralph Fiennes. Is that who played Voldemort?
Ray Fiennes, yeah.
Ray Fiennes, yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe fucked Ray Fiennes. That's what I'm saying. I just assumed they just were like, how weird would this be? And then they were like, you're right. And that was
There is
the
a
whole
lot
thing.
of fanfic about that.
Oh,
for
of course.
sure.
Can we talk about fanfic? It's much like that experiment of like you let a algorithm run long enough on the internet, it'll just become Hitler. You
Yeah.
let like anyone writing fanfic, if you don't stop after 5 pages, the hero and the bad guy are fucking. I got news for you. Like that's just how does this fanfic end? I don't know, but I don't know how it ends, but I know at some point the antagonist and the protagonist are jizzing at each other. Like that's just how it comes down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For sure.
Do you guys ever think about all that cartoon pornography that's out there too? I have never been, but I knew someone in high school was real into it, like Marge and Homer just having sex.
Oh,
I remember those coming up as pop-ups and being like, this is very funny, and I'm weirdly uncomfortable. It feels like my parents are fucking. I don't know why. They had twin Dwans. Well put, Tiger. Well put.
It was meant to be. He was the chosen one after all.
Whenever Sadaf and I, the Harry Potter movies are ones that like, if Sadaf and I are both feeling ill, we'll just put on either Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. And because it's just like, sit back, let a fucking thing come at you. We've seen them a bunch of times. And the one, Patty, thank you so much for resubbing. You know we love you, buddy.
Thank you.
And whenever we get to Cho Chang, we both just burst out laughing, and we can't stop saying her name because it's so funny to us.
Am I
Well, that's doing the rounds on Twitter at the moment.
It's so
like
funny.
J.K. Rowling had one Asian character, and her name was Cho Chang, which is apparently 2 surnames. And
You also, sorry.
and she had one Irish character who was called Seamus Finnegan.
And he blows things up. His whole character, all he does is he
up.
blows things up every time.
That guy ended up in prison.
And the only black characters, there's like one black kid.
Oh yeah, and his name's
he doesn't know
Shacklebolt.
basic things. He doesn't know basic
His name is
things about the world.
Shacklebolt.
And the only other black kids that they have react to things. So they're just in the background. They always cut to a black kid whenever someone walks into the room, and they're like, oh.
Yeah. Now, I will say they also have Dean Thomas, so that is wrong.
You're all forgetting the thing that was pointed out right when this J.K. Rowling stuff came up, because there's always when people are like, some of us have known for some time, and someone just pointed out the absolutely unnecessary, I don't know if this is in the books, but they were pointing it off of the movie, so I assume it is that the Nighttime Express is a severed, shrunken head,
Hmm.
like hanging off of the rear view windscreen, a rear view mirror of the bus, and speaks in like the most like, well, that's a
It's a
Brixton
bad, yeah.
patois. Like it was, yeah. Because I watched those in COVID lockdown 1. I watched them. I did them all in a week. That was my thing before bed. Because I would watch. This is when before I was smoking weed and got my life together. This is when I was hard smoking cigarettes. And I remember I watched one of those on my phone so I could sit on my roof and smoke while watching Prisoner of Azkaban.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't. Also,
Best one.
It was really fucking good, but
yeah, it's a good one.
I didn't love it. Like I just found, like I think I was literally watching it. No, it was Lockdown. It was Lockdown 1, but it was right as J.K. Rowling like made her comments. I had either just finished or was about to finish them.
Yeah.
And I just got to tell you, I can't put it in the same place as Star Wars, Lord of the Rings in terms of like, oh, it's an epic feel good movie. I'm kind of like, all right, get it, but.
Oh yeah, no, it's total comfort watching for me. I can just anytime.
I do like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings are good. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings in years.
Also watched that I've watched that twice.
Super watchable.
I have tried to make it happen, but I can't. It's very hard to get online. It's so hard to get online. And the DVDs that I have are back in Ireland.
Prime or Netflix. It's almost always on one of
You
those.
should pay for it though, and it's not cheap.
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll send you. I've heard rumors about some websites.
Yeah, do you want some? Yeah,
It's
I
all
don't
right.
know how to use
have
them
the
at all,
DVDs,
but I can
and
show some. I can show you how to get some of those things for free.
There are allegedly some places.
Yeah,
I have the
I may
DVDs
look.
back in Ireland, and I'm going back in March to mind my doggies for a little while, so I'm going to watch them then.
Nice.
I
had forgotten about The Bankers. That shit is wild.
What are the bankers? I've forgotten that.
The little Jewish goblins.
Oh shit! Yeah,
that shit is. That is that's something real special. That's that Cho Chang.
I don't know who in my life said this, but I know it was someone who said, "Oh, you thought people who had billions of dollars were smart?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, good point." It's like, no, I mean, I do. The one thing I do enjoy about J.K. Rowling is she did reveal the one thing that I do love about Edinburgh is the amount of oh boy, Warwick Davis, what the hell? Oh Christ!
It's so brazen.
But here's my question: was this based off of her design, or was this the movie? Because like, how involved was she?
It's
in
both.
the design?
It's both. In the books, it's pretty anti-Semitic as well.
Yeah.
It's their long, pointy noses in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Harry will never forget when he walked into the magic bank, remarking on the banker's small stature, pointy noses, and all of the signs that said these people are supposed to be Jewish people, and that's bad.
It's so fucking weird.
When are people going to go after Peter Jackson? He seems like the only hero left. You know what I mean? He's just a nice man in a hiking vest, just editing a glorious, inspirational documentary. It's not even a documentary. Do you want to know what Get Back is? Hey,
found footage.
Hey, for 7 hours, you can just watch the Beatles hang out. Like, yeah.
Well, I was listening to an interview with him about it the other day, and he was saying that he got to change Paul McCartney's view on that era of the Beatles because he
watched that interview too. That's the craziest.
Before he got to before he actually made the documentary, he just watched all the footage. So it's from the last recording session that they had basically, and it's all the stories about it since have been like they fought and George quit the band and they were furious and it was the beginning and the end. And then and so Peter Jackson like went to Paul McCartney being like, I'm thinking about making this. I've got all the footage, and all the blood drained from McCartney's face, and he's like, oh no. And Peter Jackson got to be like, I know what you think it is. That's what I thought it was going to be too. And it's not that at all. It's really nice. And he got to show it and just watch this weight lift off of Paul McCartney.
What's weird is I've only watched the first episode because I loved it so much. I was like, I'm saving this. I'm going to need this. I don't know how like if it wasn't the Beatles, I don't think non-performers would find that interesting. But you watching it as a performer knows, like, I can only imagine I've been under 0.0001% the pressure the Beatles were ever under. And seeing them walk in, like, you look at their eyes and you can go, I know why they remember this being a negative thing. is because I guarantee a bunch of times one of them turned and went, "Can we turn the cameras off for a second?" Sure. Hey, Ringo, how about you suck my fucking asshole, motherfucker? Like,
But apparently, the cameras did get turned off, but the audio ran the whole time. So there's nothing that's said that isn't on tape.
interesting.
So it's all there, and it never breaks out. There's never like a big fight. There's no big falling out. It's like jabs every now and then. It's people like fucking with each other, but it's not what people painted it to be, which is really cool.
By the way, there's a great podcast that I've talked about on here before called Rivals, and there's an episode that's just about John and Paul versus George, which is a great primer for this because it's only George's perspective. And so Ashley, basically what it was George would show up with songs, like really good songs that he had done, but Paul McCartney and John Lennon still think of George Harrison as like their young friend who'd always get drunk in Hamburg, and they're like, what does he fucking know? And then he was like, hey, can we do this song? Can we do this song? I recorded this demo with my friend Eric, who's Eric Clapton, who at the time wasn't a racist anti-vax guy. He was just, yeah, he definitely was, but he didn't have Twitter then, so I can pretend. I just want to like Layla still, Chris. And they ignored him for years, and then the Beatles broke up, and he immediately just recorded all of the songs. And then because he did it with Apple Records, knowing or something. Either way, he knew that Paul McCartney was going to get a press before anyone else, and then just like ran into famously was like, "We're going to this restaurant. Why? Paul's eating there right now." And just sat down and was like, "Listen to anything, Paul?" And he was like, and apparently Paul McCartney was like, "Yeah, we probably could have used a couple more slugs." And he was like, "Yeah, that's right." And then
Which album is that? I know one of his solo albums is like unbelievable.
It's all
start
things
to
must
finish.
pass. It's all things must pass. It's like the best solo album ever. Yeah, Ashley, did you take out your headphones while we were doing Beatles chat?
I adjusted them. But it felt like it was a good moment to do that.
Ashley, I would like to right now have you rank the Beatles in terms of physical attractiveness.
Good call.
All right, let's go from the.
We haven't done an Ashley ranks in a while.
I got to tell you, this one. This is the play for all the marbles. Chris, would you like to predict the way she's going to go? Also, what era of Beatles would you like to use, Ashley? I would suggest the Get Back era.
I think we do two.
I don't know.
We do Mop Top, and then we do 60s.
Let me ask you this, Chris. What's your favorite era of the Beatles? Mine, and no one agrees with me, Mop Top, fun, Chelsea boot era. Love it. They're just four friends hanging out.
It's pretty fun.
They're fun scamps.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Also, fun fact.
Gotta have an Ashley ranks reward.
Yes.
Yeah,
someone write that down.
Idea.
Just adding it. Just adding it now.
George, Ringo, Paul, John. Interesting. George, Paul, John, Ringo coming in from Boob Stickery. Steven CGR is going George, Ringo, Paul, John. Interesting. All coming in from Richard Wright. Ringo, Pete Best. Bold. Very bold.
Very bold.
Okay. All right. So we're going with
Was Pete Best the guy that was in the band for a minute and then got swapped out for somebody else?
He was the drummer before
The original
Ringo.
drummer.
Yeah.
This is how famous the Beatles are. Pete Best is a millionaire because he got kicked out of the Beatles. That's how big of never forget how big this band is. The guy who was not in the band, a millionaire because of that. That's the crazy thing.
Okay. I know which one is Paul McCartney, but please point out which the other ones are.
So left to right, it goes Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, John Lennon.
Now you are not allowed to look at the chat because it will affect how you feel about them.
I'm gonna go into the private chat.
Yeah. Just want to quickly say, by the way, Patty Padman. God, do I agree with you? Oh my God, Ashley coming in from Patty Man. How do you not know? Yeah, because it's not like you can be like, well, they're English. They're from Liverpool, which everyone.
I'm sorry,
knows
but they look the same.
Oh, wow. But you wouldn't say that about Run DMC.
Wow.
They look the same.
All right.
But if I simply must.
You simply must.
I'm going to say, wait, what? Paul, George, Ringo, John.
John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number one is John.
Okay.
If anyone wants to clip that, by the way, that would be great. If someone could clip that, that would be real good.
After that, they're the same.
I mean, they certainly aren't. There's a real shithead in there.
They look so different.
Yeah, they look so like this one has look how thin
How
George
can you
is.
look at this photograph of the Beatles?
George
and
Harrison
say
looks
they
like a
look
Vulcan.
So
Yeah,
different.
George Harrison looks like Mr. Spock. Ringo Starr looks like
he does.
his face melted and he put on some makeup. Paul looks like he's shitting. Like he's like, oh!
He does. I think that's why John comes first, is because he just kind of looks normal.
All right, so you because there's a second rank.
The rest of them are just meh.
You
I
gotta
can't
rank
them.
Okay.
So you're
can't.
going John
They're
Lennon
just-
So there's
and
John
none?
and nobody.
None. All right. Well, now for the second secret round. Now, Ashley, can you pick which one of these men was known for beating up his wives? Which
I'm
one?
pretty sure that's John.
It is
Lucky wives, right, Ashley? Lucky
Yeah,
wives.
That's why you picked him.
But I'm kind of hoping that this picture is before that.
Right in the middle.
Right through.
Right in the middle.
Right
He
through.
stopped doing it later and felt bad and apologized and tried to become what he understood a feminist to be. But he beat the shit out of those ladies.
Yeah.
Can
and
I
he always-
rank Queen instead? Queen are so much more attractive.
We can rank Queen
In a moment, but first, the later years.
Okay, the later years.
AKA mustaches.
Yeah, AKA.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact: you have to guess which one of them is on heroin at this time. One of them is on heroin at this
Ooh.
time.
Ashley, I can fix him, man.
Very good. Very good. Okay, on this picture, I'm gonna say number one is George.
All right. Do you know which one George is?
Yeah,
Which
on
one
the
is
left.
George?
Far.
On the left.
No, that's
On the
Paul.
That's Paul.
Far left
That's
is
Paul.
Paul.
Far left
Sorry,
is
Far
Paul.
right
Paul.
is George.
Far
Far
right
right
is
is George.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So left to right, it
Far
goes
left.
Paul,
So-
Ringo, John, George.
I'm gonna say Paul number one then.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say George number two.
Heyo.
And the other two, meh.
In the bin.
In the bin.
Wow. Interesting.
Wild.
Do you want to guess which one's on heroin?
Yeah. Would you like to guess which one's on heroin?
I feel like it might be George.
He's got those cheeks, right?
Fun fact:
Yeah.
it's John. John's on heroin. John was the one
Okay.
on heroin. Yeah. It's very funny because they tried to keep that only really came to light very recently. Like it was known, but it's very funny when you're like, oh, yeah, of course he was. Of course he was. No, that's why he said things like Yoko and I go to the toilet together. You know what I'm saying? You're like, of course.
Oh, he spent a week in bed. Oh.
No. Like, yeah, when you see him with that giant beard and giant hair, you're like, oh, I know who's on heroin. Yeah.
I love that Ringo full looks like he's just John's dad in this.
Of
And
course.
he's so proud of them. He's just so happy for their success, and he came backstage. It's my boy.
I also
Ringo
like
was the first one to die, right?
No, Ringo's the
Oh,
last one
oh,
standing.
fuck
Oh no, him and
yourself,
Paul are
man.
still standing.
Oh,
John got shot.
Lennon!
I thought Ringo died. I'm sorry.
I mean, he should have. He's not.
I mean,
he hasn't aged well.
disagree. I disagree. I love old shitty Ringo. Is so fun. Just, do you like Liverpool? No, I think it's a shithole. Like fucking awesome. Just angry at Paul for being arrogant. The video. Oh, actually, let me find this. There is a video of I don't know where it is, but I'm just
Ringo's career died first.
Yes.
Gotcha.
He's so gross. He's
There's
such
also
a gross
very-
old man now.
Oh my
Ew.
God! Yes, there is of course Ringo's art. Let's not forget about Ringo's art. And of course, he's also the narrator of Thomas the Tank Engine, and also
Yes.
he made a video for his fans where he said, "Peace and love, peace and love. I will no longer be signing anything. If you
So-
are too busy, if you send anything, it'll be thrown up. Peace and love, peace and love."
I need to address this from King Geo. Have you even heard a
Oh,
Beatles song before? This is just I don't I listen to music, but that's where it ends. I don't look into musicians at all. I don't learn about their lives. I don't look at their faces. I just listen to music. If I even do that, I don't listen to music that much. I am dense on music. Whereas show me a film, I will find out about all the actors. I will find out about all the behind the scenes gossips. I will look at interviews. I will look at director. Like, I love that about film.
But that's because you watch
just,
one film a decade. So you have nothing but time.
I assume some of the Harry Potter, but not all of them, and that's it. Name a film, Ashley. Name a film. Go ahead. Thank you, Patty. Thank you. I'm sorry. But Ashley, do you understand why that's funny? Do you understand why that's a very funny joke? That's a very funny joke.
I actually do understand why that's a funny joke, because Paint It Black is by the Rolling Stones.
It's actually by Gob?
It is by Gob. Also, madam, I'll have you know, coming in from Boomstickery, the Beatles were in films. Also, I'd like to let everyone know, podcast listeners, welcome to the program. It has been near 90 minutes. We might end early, so here's a shout out for you, late in the game.
Late in the game.
What's a film where you know a lot about the director, stars, the grip, the producer?
I would know a lot about Irish films. Just
you know a lot
because
about The Lobster?
Yeah. I know a fair bit about Lenny Abramson, I guess. A friend of mine was in The Lobster, so he was in one of the sex scenes that got cut. But
the only note the director gave him was "fuck better."
He got to squeeze a Bond girl's boob.
Which Bond girl?
What's her name? That's in The Lobster, the Bond girl. Her name's gone out of my head. She's blonde.
Is that the Colin Farrell one?
It was the Colin Farrell.
It's the Colin Farrell one, and it's the most recent. Leah Seydoux.
Oh, okay.
Leah
Oh, she's fucking beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Which one's Leah Seydoux?
She's the French one.
I do
The
know who you're
French
talking
woman.
about. Yes, she is a phenomenal performer and also makes me feel like I'm climbing the rope in gym class. Name the movie that's from. Name the movie that's from, Ashley. I will give you 10 pounds, 10 British pounds transferred to your account.
I actually think I've seen it, but I don't know what it is. But it sounds familiar.
I can't even remember which one that's from. I remember the quote, but I can't remember what movie it's from.
I do feel like I know it.
It is from Wayne's World.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, Garth says it. It's like I'm climbing the rope in gym class. Yeah.
Climbing the rope in gym class. It's the greatest way to describe. Like, I wouldn't even say I'm like. It's just sort of like, whoa, that person makes me uncomfortable, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, that's the wrong kind of nostalgia.
Exactly.
I haven't seen The Hole in the Ground, but if you want like a really fucked up Irish horror movie,
is it about
Isolation? Isolation is fucked. You will not sleep.
I'm not watching
It's
it.
about
I'm not watching it.
about experimentation on cows that goes wrong. It's the one about the cows.
Patty knows.
It's the one about the cows. It is.
I'm not watching that at all. That sounds like
You don't want to watch it.
You're
Sounds
right.
I could not sleep for a long time after watching that
What do they
movie.
do to those cows?
Yeah, what do they do?
These poor heifers.
Okay.
Chris, no, don't. I don't want to know. No.
I want to know because I don't want to watch it, but I always like to know things.
All right, go ahead, Ashley. I really hope
They're they're doing experiments on cows to make them breed more.
Horny
so
cows,
that
nice.
well, so that basically I think they're doing it so that they'll be able to get pregnant earlier.
Yeah.
So that they can just
Not like
increase the
John.
production
Oh,
cycle.
No, cows.
Is this movie a lot like
Cows,
Roar, but it's just with a
no.
bunch of really fucking horny cows? So it's not lions mauling people, it's just a bunch of
No, it's basically about alien fetus cows. It's the fetuses that go evil. So the fetus like kills the mother cow before it's even born. It's not even got legs yet. And then the fetus is just this little wormy thing that like moves around, and then it tries to find another host mother, and it tries to get a human woman. So there's this whole scene where the fetus is like climbing up through a bed to try and go in between a woman's legs, and you're just like,
Yeah, I can see that. See that being
Oh,
funny.
cool.
You know what I'm
I felt like I
picturing
had to cross
is-
my legs for months.
Have you
after
seen a kangaroo give birth?
No, and I don't think I want to.
Baby kangaroos are about that big.
No.
They're about that big. They're
they
super
hop-
tiny.
Do they-
They're bright red, and they just sort of crawl out, and then they crawl up the front of their mother, and then just go down into the pouch, and then they hang out there until they're
They
joeys.
They have
They're
external
so
gestation
fucking
periods.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fun, and it's super creepy. I watched it and I was
I
like, I
don't
think
wanna
this is
see
supposed to be cute. It's not. It freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm picturing right
I-
now. It's just the
I
inching.
don't need to see that. And I knew that they had external gestation periods, but I didn't really ever think about it that much.
Yuck.
Here's what I'm going to say. I don't know who was thinking, like, you know what's a really cute thing? Watching an animal give birth. That's never something I've ever thought in my life. Ashley can't identify
No,
the
it's
Beatles.
actually very
knows
cute
what-
seeing baby cows get born. For the podcast listeners, if you didn't hear that, Diamond Geyser said Ashley can't identify the Beatles, but does know which alien fetuses to avoid.
Can I propose, because we have to do a watch along? We have to do a Patreon episode, rather.
We're not doing isolation. We're not doing it.
We're not doing
I
it. Can we do a-
I
can we do a-
cannot
can we
see
do
it
a-
again.
Can we just do a listen along to some Beatles songs in the Patreon episode for Ashley? Because we can't do that on the regular feed.
Yeah, we can do that.
because
Sure.
that's what we're doing. Okay.
I
good.
do
We're trying to
know
figure-
Beatles music, but like
Yeah,
I
but
say, I can
Yeah, but-
hear the music, but I don't get invested in the artists.
But you're dealing with like, I'm a big music dork. Like, I'm annoying. Like, I will not listen to music with other people because I was like, you want to do, this is fun for you. My fun is like that. Oh, let's, yeah.
Blackbirds is lovely.
Oh yeah. Okay. So everyone in the Discord, put whatever Beatles song you love. We are going to play either all or some for Ashley.
Everyone being
we're gonna
all
pick
of
some
the
from it.
Patreons.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And
Oh
do
shit!
not
Yeah, good shout. Good shout. Ashley.
I didn't hear what
Yeah,
you
if
said.
you get invested in this idea and you're not a Patreon, you're gonna be disappointed.
That's right. Because it's only going to be for Patreon subscribers.
Do we not get? No, obviously we don't get the
Yes.
RTH.
Revolver. That's the fucking.
Revolver is the one.
That's
I
my.
was
That's my
definitely-
jam.
we were
That's my
of
album.
course.
I love that.
What I like
It's the
about
one.
Revolver too, this is why the Beatles rock, is they gave you two really cool experimental like gear shift albums, and you can pick the one that everyone goes Sgt. Pepper's, but the real bad boys go, no, Revolver's where it begins.
Revolver's
Revolver,
fucking dope.
yeah, Revolver's when they stopped taking meth and drinking beer, and they got some weed and made Ringo try it first, because apparently, I don't know if this is true, but I want this to be true. They were like, which one of us could we definitely replace? And they were like, Ringo, it's Ringo. And Ringo was like, it's me. I'll try it. Yeah, come here to me. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Ringo knows. Ringo knows. Have you noticed that there's a push right now among certain musicians to rehabilitate Ringo's drumming reputation?
Absolutely, because he's a much better drummer than but the reputation also came from Paul, because Paul thought he was a shitty drummer.
That checks out. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But wouldn't Paul know that? Didn't Paul play with him for 40 years?
Yeah, but
no,
Paul-
well, like
Paul
8
played-
years actually. But
Paul played with him for 8 years, and also Paul's
yeah.
a dick. Like,
Paul is a dick.
Paul was the leader. I'm sorry. I've been in creative situations. One person has to be in charge, because here's what you don't ever want: more than one weird, sketchy, super famous musician talking to business people. You got to pick one. It was Paul.
Yeah.
Paul's a dick. The reason why the Beatles broke up is because Paul refused to leave a castle in Scotland, and so John was like, okay, well, I guess the band's over. And then Paul went, well, I guess John ended the band, which is why they didn't talk for 2 years, because John was just like, no, you did, you fucking prick.
Yeah.
Fucking hate Paul McCartney. That said, he brings everyone joy. I walked into a Starbucks he had just been in St. John's Wood, and everyone was just smiling. I walked up to the counter, and I was like, looked bewildered, like, and the barista just went, Paul McCartney was just here.
He's one of those guys that whenever you get interviews with like Lifer SNL people, at some point they bring up meeting Paul McCartney because
Yeah.
he's best friends with Lorne Michaels. And so Paul McCartney just comes and hangs out and does sketches for no reason. Or you go over to his house after a show, and no one's like, Paul McCartney was a dick to me. They're always like, super nice, very like
has to
patient and kind and funny, and knew my name.
Also, this is a joke by Dana Gould, but I think it's the best point, which is it must be weird being Paul McCartney, because in his life, he just assumes every third person he meets will just cry. Just cries. Just what was
That's
I
like
thinking?
that. That's like that bit that I think it was like a Louis bit, but he's like, do you think lions just think that every animal's face is like that's just how they all look?
Oh, I think are you thinking of Dana Gould's bit about bears and how every bear just thinks human beings always have shit in their pants?
No. It's a
Oh.
Louis bit. It's a Louis bit for sure.
Okay.
And it's because the lion's trying to describe another animal to like a giraffe, and the lion's like, you know, like he's like standing up on his back legs and his face is all distorted, and the giraffe's like, I don't know that guy. I know he's just a super chill, like emu. But I love that as an idea. Just like they only know terrified.
Okay, two things. First of all, that Dana Gould bit is so funny because it relates to why he's doing a bit where bears talk, and it's to justify why bears don't talk around human beings, because when they kill us, we always have shit in our pants, so they just reflect us. The second one, and it's the only time Joe Rogan's ever made me laugh, which is the bit. Yeah. You go to a zoo, every animal's sad except for the giraffes. You see the giraffes, and they're just walking around going, "Another day, no lions." Like, and you're like,
Annoyingly, that's made me laugh too.
no, right? You're just like,
I fucking hate Joe Rogan though. I need to just drive that
I
home
know.
after laughing at one of his jokes. I fucking
It's a
hate
funny
the
joke
guy.
though. It's a funny joke.
Yeah, just go
I
get
like-
your booster tomorrow, and that will hurt Joe Rogan, because apparently that's the big crime.
He's gone so deep now that I was reading an article in the New Yorker
Did you
the
see
other
the
day.
doctor that he
and-
had on?
Oh, I heard about that. I didn't watch it, but yeah.
It was
Oh,
weird.
I did.
Oh, yeah,
but
he,
by the way,
canceled the shows in Vancouver because they were vaccinated.
no.
Canceled his 420 show.
No, he said he canceled it,
Mm.
and the venue and the government went, "No, we canceled it because everyone has to be vaccinated, and he's not vaccinated."
Dope.
So they were just like, "No, you can't come," and he's like trying to be like, "Oh, it's tyranny," and again, it's not tyranny. These are private businesses. I'm aware. I was 16 when 9/11 happened. I lived through the whole discussion of the Patriot Act will go away. What do you have to hide? You can give the government this power. I am aware that, but yes, governments shouldn't be given a lot of power. The other thing is we're in an unprecedented medical emergency, and a bunch of people are deciding, well, a variety of scientists, a shitload of peer-reviewed studies, and almost a year of issuing this vaccine hasn't actually resulted in any massive amounts of death. The guy from Fear Factor and the brother of that professor who didn't want to teach trans people tell me the vaccine is bad. Equal point.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, they're fucking not.
It's wild that he's gone so deep into, like, so this article I was reading was about the guy who's taken over Rush Limbaugh's time spot on talk radio.
Oh
and
my God, Dan Covino?
they Bogino?
Dan Bogino?
Yeah, something like that.
Bogano? I don't fucking
And
know.
so, but they were like, Bogano and his conservative counterparts, Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. And I was like, is it that? Has it gone that far now?
Mm-hmm.
That's because I haven't watched any of his shit in years. Like the last thing I watched was him talking about Jerry Seinfeld with Anthony Jeselnik.
So
like,
I love Anthony Jeselnik.
He's great.
I love him. He's so hot too.
Ashley, I can fix in Manning.
Ashley, I'm going to tell you something about Anthony Jeselnik after the show. That
Yes, you are.
Yes, I will. Well, we'll find out. Anyway, what I was just going to say is I listened to a podcast called Knowledge
You're
Fight.
gonna ruin him for me, though, are you?
Well, we'll see. And it's called Knowledge Fight, and it's two comedians from Chicago who listen to Alex Jones and correct it and go like, here's what he's doing. It's really funny and really well done. Holy shit. But they have traced a bunch of stuff, and one of the things they did, what they really traced was Alex Jones's very clever manipulation of Joe Rogan, which was Joe Rogan was like, I'm not going to put Alex Jones on. He lied to me about what he said about the Sandy Hook kids. And then Alex Jones basically played on Joe Rogan's friendship of him and was like, I know you don't understand, got back on his show. But basically to everyone, it was Joe. What Joe didn't realize was this wasn't Joe accepting his friend back on the show. This was him being like, oh, I agree, Sandy Hook was fake. All of this audience will now come to me. And that's basically what has happened.
Oh, shit.
And what I'm going to be fascinated by is at some point Spotify is going to have to re-up that contract, and I would be very interested to see how that happens.
Yeah, well, money talks, you know. I think.
But there's got to be a lot of issues for him being on that show. What's going on, Chris? Because something's been happening in your window, and I want to know.
It's snowing.
No.
Is it showing up? I don't think it's showing up.
No, it's not really.
Oh, there it is. It's snowing.
Oh my
God. I love being in LA. Oh, I love that
Oh,
I'm not there.
I want the
love that
snow.
Do you?
Oh, it's so pretty.
I want snow.
It's like a perfect Hallmark movie dusting.
I mean, it's cold enough for snow here. We just don't have the snow. So I have the cold without the fun part.
Yeah, that's the worst.
You know, that's the worst bit.
Yeah, I do not want
cold
snow ever in my life ever. I love it so much. As soon as we're done here, I have to do a bunch of admin, and then I'm walking outside to go look at bikes. Although I don't actually think I'm going to buy a bike, because this is the third time I've said buy a bike, and whenever I say that, my entire internal organ system just goes. So I think I'm going to go look at a bike.
I don't think you should. I don't think you should. Go and get roller skates.
Get an electric scooter.
I have a
scooter.
The reason why I want to get a bike is I love the feeling of like, I got like 10 things to do today. I don't like, they're all in this general area, and I can go for like a nice, lovely, leisurely ride. And I just want that back so bad. The problem is I've mentally traumatized myself. So the idea of getting on a bike makes me want to shit and piss and cry at the same time.
Well, if it helps, I also don't get on bikes. I can't cycle.
Is that because you're also traumatized by John's actions?
You know how to ride?
No, that's from, apparently I fell off a bike when I was really, really tiny.
Okay.
I don't actually remember the event, but I have been terrified of bikes my whole life. When I was a school trip, we went on some like adventure course thing for a week, and one of the days was mountain biking, and I didn't want to do it. They made me do it. And they made me bring a bike up to the top of a hill and then get on it and cry.
Just cry on top of a hill on top of a bike.
And I just rolled the bike, just held the bike, rolled it back down. I can't do it. I can get on a motorbike. I can do a go-kart. I can't get on a bike. I don't know
Wait a
why.
minute. What was that second one after motorbike? Did you go
Go-kart?
Get on? Yeah, go-kart
Go-kart.
is not the same as motorbike or bicycle. Go-kart is
No,
just
but it's still scary as shit sometimes.
Oh, I see. I
told you about the last time I was on a go-kart where they forgot to put the gas cap on, so when I hit the brake, I just got doused in gasoline.
Oh no!
And I
Not
went to the
safe.
guy. I was so high. Me and a bunch of people at a restaurant that I worked at, we just got really high. We went out laser tagging, and then we went go-karting.
Oh god!
And
There's nothing worse than being super high covered in
was
gasoline.
so high. And I was like, is this okay? And the guy went, yeah, you're fine. And all I could think of was a little spark in the spark plugs. And I was like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. I was like, can I change cars? He was like, I mean, if you want to. I was like, I would very much like to. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I don't want to be doused
That's
in gasoline.
horrifying.
Yeah, full
Also,
doused.
did you
Full
change
doused.
your clothes?
I didn't have a change of
No.
clothes. I was 23. I didn't have any fucking.
I went
I mean,
go-karting
I
last
would
year.
ask for some go-kart merch. Electric scooters are much more dangerous.
I
than
was
bikes or e-bikes.
I was a ladies captain of Motorsports Society
That's
in
right.
university,
Yeah.
and it was go-kart racing, and I stayed on the leaderboard.
Nice.
I wasn't first, but I was on it. And
You're
I
in
was the
there.
only woman.
Yeah, damn right, like Amelia Earhart, but you know how to not disappear. Speaking about disappearing,
Stupid Amelia.
that's the third pause we've taken in about 5 minutes. So I'm calling it's plugs and raids time, everybody.
Let's do
Did
it.
they
Yeah,
not
we're getting
Give
back in.
you like a go-kart jumpsuit? That's a question for Chris.
Oh, fuck no.
Could have.
But I put on a go-kart
I should have asked
jumpsuit
for one.
once at this go-kart society or this motorsport society. I don't think they'd had any women for a couple of years. And I came out in the jumpsuit and they all just looked at me and I was just like, what? And they were just like, it's just a woman in one of those jumpsuits.
That's right. I
It
was
was
about
just
to
like,
bring that
okay.
exact. I was about to be like, it's a woman. What you have to understand, a woman in a boiler suit.
Mhm.
Yeah,
in,
it was a woman in a racing suit. And they were just like,
overalls, coveralls too. Oh,
I purchased these recently
Absolutely.
because they were on sale because of Boxing Day. They are Carhartt overalls, and
Did
they're
you
the most comfortable thing I've ever
Let me
owned.
ask you this. Let me ask you this, Chris. Did you purchase those at a Mark's Work warehouse?
You're goddamn right I
Of
did,
course you
John.
did.
You're goddamn right I
The
did.
finest store in all of Canada.
Full April O'Neil.
Exactly, Patty. Exactly.
It
Also,
wasn't yellow, but yeah.
I have been thinking about this a fair amount just because I'm trying to write new material. But one of them is that here's what no one tells you about getting older, which is like, oh, the stuff that you find attractive on other people gets way weirder. Like my main fantasy is just a woman in full yoga gear, but with Doc Martens, just walking around. Not naked, just walk right. And every guy I say that to goes, yeah, I get it. And right, what are we getting? What do we get?
Mine is, you know, those hippie pants, the ones that are loose, but also
yes. Don't say no more. Absolutely
wild. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about them, but it's
Neither do I.
a switch.
Oh, of course.
I'm in. Let's go.
Where is your tent? She's actually
harem pants,
but
yeah,
she's tough.
harem
That is
pants.
part of it. Yep, they're harem pants.
Yeah.
What about that? I assume for women, it's just like that man was polite. What a difference.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
He looks like he showers.
Yeah.
I remember when a girl came over to my place and she saw shampoo in my shower, and I didn't have any hair on my head, and she's like, "Is this just for your beard?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she went, "That makes me much more into your beard." It's like, all right, cool, man.
I'll never forget this. I was 28 at the time, maybe 27, and I remember I washed my hands coming out of the bathroom, and a girl I was about to have a one-night stand leaned against the doorway and just went, "You know, you are the first guy in a while that I haven't had to
wash
say, go
his
wash your
hands."
hands." Just to point out to say, "Go wash your hands."
That
And right
is
there, I was
so
just like,
hot.
I was like, "Holy shit!"
The bar
so
is
hot.
so low.
The bar is
The bar is so low.
Yeah.
so low. It's so low. It's depressingly low.
Oh, Richard Wright coming in with an absolute gem. Joey Lauren Adams, hockey jersey, and Chasing Amy.
I will admit this to any individual in the post-coitus refractory period. If you're not you, but the other person or people involved, if they put on your item of cold weather clothing, hockey jersey, hoodie, sweater, cardigan,
yeah, very hot, always hot, and women know that. They put on the guy's shirts.
We know it. We know that.
True. But
Women
here's
know.
what also. But here's the opposite of it: is the taking of my soft, delightful hoodies, sweaters, and hockey jerseys and outerwear gone. Same thing with t-shirts. People are always like, "You have a lot of t-shirts," and it's like that's because I've been in a. I have not been hitting the dating scene because as soon as you open the doors to those sort of things, guess what you're covered in? Ladies stealing your t-shirts, trying to make up for the fact they're
I
paying
will say
20% less.
we know
not make
about
women
the
t-shirts.
thing. We know about the putting on of your clothes thing. But it's also practical.
Yeah.
Because the things that make us look hot are not comfortable.
Yeah,
Or practical
absolutely.
or warm
Yeah.
or they're just not they're just not.
Yeah,
It was
you can't
also-
just throw it over. You
Yeah.
know?
No.
I'm gonna go get some tea, throw it over, and it's like, well, I hope you're ready to put down that tea and have some more sex because
Yeah,
that's what's
I
happening when you
also-
get back into this room. So
I also have to say this about lingerie. It's only very recently has lingerie actually have been like and it was the individual and the lingerie selected, like it was the vibe. Any other time I've seen lingerie, I've always been like, I don't. This feels like this is the sexual equivalence of forced fun. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
Okay.
you're aware.
No.
Yes.
That's weird. That's such a weird way to look at it.
no, I understand. I had a similar
It's the
thing
vibe,
where
it's
like
the vibe.
lingerie
It-
felt
it-
like it was like buying someone roses for Valentine's Day. It
Yeah.
was just like, it's just like a thing, whatever.
But I know so many women who wear it like it's for they're not just wearing it on. There are some women who just wear it on the nights that they think they're going to get laid, but there's a lot of women who wear it more often than that. Like there's like something powerful about wearing a bra that matches your underwear, you know?
I could see that.
It's just feels like you're doing something right.
Yeah, you're in control.
I do, however, remember a guy put it in a weird way because this similar kind of topic came up, and he was just like, "I really like it when a girl's wearing matching underwear. It implies intent."
I mean, flowing mullet is coming in with
And
secretly the hottest
annoyingly, I
thing of
couldn't
all.
argue with him.
Of course.
And in a way, that's like pro consent. It's like I'm very turned on at how into having sex with me you are.
Yeah.
Coming in from flowing mullet. If a girl lets me be little spoon, that's enough for me. Goddamn right, flowing mullet.
Love being a little spoon.
Goddamn right.
Love it.
Anyone any plugs? Wrestler review for me. Go check out my stand-up albums. Who knows when I'm supposed to be in 4
Send me money if you want.
Send
That's
Ashley
my
money.
plug.
Go to her
Send
coffee.
Ashley money.
Coffee.com/Ashley Manning.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just hanging out. No, you can check out my old podcast, Chris Betts Versus. I'm talking to Jordan about Big Shiny Podcast Season 2. We're picking out ideas, so hopefully that'll be coming soon.
Well, I have an idea for you.
Okay.
I'm just going to throw it there, which is do the Canadian version of Now That's What I Call Music, but which was just called Now. And it was compilations. Or do you remember the Canadian only CD compilation to get the party started for the summers? Frosh.
I do remember Frosh, but there's a lot of overlap, and I think that we're both sort of tired of listening to music that we fucking hate. So we're trying to find like a new angle on it. We've got a couple ideas. We're not going to tell you what it is, but we've got a couple leads that could be really fun. So.
I like that. Who shall we
working on it.
read?
I think we should read Gareth Wall.
Oh, that little
right.
fuck.
I know. I like it when Gareth is streaming.
I mean,
can we make the raid message Ashley back?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Message Ashley back.
I feel like
He's
I'm
gonna
part of-
hate it. He's gonna hate it so much. He's gonna hate it.
Well, madam, you know exactly how to get me on board with an idea involving Gareth, which is tell me he's going to hate it.
He hates
gonna
things
hate
so
me.
well.
He's gonna be
Him
so
hating
mad
Elliot
at
Steele is one of
me.
my favorite things in the
He
world.
gets mad at me so easily.
He's a sensitive wee little boy.
I don't like. It's one of those things where I actually don't even know if he likes me. He's just sort of ended up being friends with me.
No. I've been around Garrett when he hates someone. They know. Like he is not
He
someone
doesn't
that
hate me, but I'm not sure he likes me.
he definitely does. I've been around people he does not like. I like Gareth. Gareth is one of those people where I'm like, oh, you were very small as a kid so you learned how to fight because no one would be this overtly disrespectful to someone who wasn't 100% convinced you could at least hurt them back. Like it's just that level. You're like, I gotcha. Yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah,
Not the worst raid message we've used. That's fair.
Not even
That is
close.
fair.
Yeah,
Not even
not even
close.
fucking close.
Cool, Ashley. Have you got that? Have you got that loaded up?
I do.
Ready to raid?
No.
Dope. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. We will be back tomorrow for the last show of the week. And here's an old lady talking about sex. Bye.
And that's all. Penis into her vagina. And that's all. And that's called sexual intercourse. Some people call it having sex. So the man passes the sperm to the woman,